We're rolling.
So, take me through the day that the shooting occurred, from the morning on up to the time that the event happened.
Okay, well, it was a school morning. I got up, you know, getting ready for school. Every morning, believe it or not, I'm 12th grade in high school. My mom used to wake me up for school, so I had to struggle on getting up because I didn't want to wake up early. Like, you know, get ready for school. I go to school. You know, a normal day at school, exams. Took exams, you know, school year finna be over. Everybody all excited and happy to graduate. I'm happy about graduating and get off the bus, you know, went home. Later on that evening, you know, I went to the came up here to the park and played a few games of basketball. I think I played like 4 games of basketball. And after the 4th game, the guy I got to fighting with, he was up here. We had words like days before, and he was up here, you know. And
so this is something that's stemming from a previous event. Like
we had a previous altercation before this, and he was over here with his friends and stuff, and he was over here talking to his friends, you know.
The media said that it was over a girl.
Yeah.
So is that true?
Nah, it's not true over a girl. I don't really know where that story came from. A girl from Millington that went to school with me, that lived in Millington on the Navy base, said some kind of way the news got a you know, report from her. She said it was over a girl, but she's not even from North Haven. She lived in Millington and she wasn't in North Haven when it happened, so I don't know what that story
tell us
from.
What was it from?
Well, it was actually a guy I grew up with, man. My apprentice. I ain't gonna say his whole name, but his name Prentice, and I grew up apprentice like from my knee high all the way up through high school and everything. Apprentice was a year older than me. He played football, probably the best football player that could have came out of North Haven. He was always faster than everybody else and, you know, more athletic. But Prentice, he ain't finished playing football. You know, he got into the streets. You know, he gave into the streets. So he was over him. They was trying to get into a fight with him at the penny pantry, and I was always, you know, strong head, tough guy. I just had to be the tough guy, and I was like, you know, I knew the guys that he was finna fight, and you know, I was like, yeah, I had his back. I was like, you know, yeah, I'm not gonna jump him and fight him. And just so happened this guy was, for some reason, feeling himself, and he was talking all type of crap. And like I said earlier, my mom, for some kind of reason, I don't know how it happened, every time I'm finna fight or something, she always pop up. So here come my mama walking out the store. I'm like, what the world? And it was all kind of cursing and stuff going on. I was like, dang, my mama right here, so you know. And I was like, you know, I told him, you know, you gonna have to quit cursing in front of my mama and stuff. You know, I guess he wanted to be cool and crunk. And so we was about to fight at the store today, but some guys and my mama, you know, got in between us, and so it was over. That day was over.
Okay. So walk us through the night that the shooting actually occurred.
Okay. Well, the evening that the shooting occurred, I was out here playing. I think it was like the 4th game of basketball, and he was over here with some friends. And like I said, I knew everybody. I knew the guy even. You know, he was like my big brother's age. He was a lot older than me. He was in his 20s. And you know, he was over here. You know, they was talking and stuff. You know, trash talk. You know, we got to talking trash and stuff, and we ended up getting to fight. And you know, it was a lot of people at the park, and so, you know, I whooped him. I beat the guy up and stuff, and you know, he was embarrassed. You know, it was a lot of people at the park watching and stuff, so he was embarrassed. But I never expected him to shoot me though, because like I said, I knew the guy.
So did he leave and come back?
No, he actually had the gun on him the whole time. And you know, I guess I beat him up so he couldn't get to the gun. And so when I walked off, I was talking to some guys and stuff, and I was watching him the whole time because I wasn't no fool, but at the same time, here I am trying to be the tough guy. Someone was telling me to leave, but I didn't. And I seen he finally got up off the ground after talking to some friends, and he pulled a gun out of his pocket. And when he pulled the gun, I'm like, this man ain't finna shoot me. You know, I know this guy. He got beat up. He probably fight again. He pointed the gun at me and started shooting. And I ran. It was like a lot of cars in the parking lot. And as he was shooting, you know, I was cutting through cars and stuff. He was chasing after me shooting. And then I tripped and fell back that way. I came around the corner from a car and like tripped and fell. And when I fell, he shot once and hit me back here. And then he shot again and hit me in my neck. And then I fell on the ground, and he ran out of bullets. I turned around and looked at him, like we made eye contact. He tried to shoot again, but he had a revolver. He was out of bullets.
So what was going through your head when
I thought I was gonna die. I was like, man, when I got shot, when I actually got hit with the bullets, it didn't hurt, but it was a burning feeling. It was like real hot, and I could feel it, but you know, I wasn't hurting nothing. I'm like, man, I just got shot. And when I seen him finna pull the trigger again, he pulled the trigger again, but he was out of bullets. I was like, I'm finna die. I'm finna die right here. You know, I never thought in a million days I'd be a part of something like that, you know, dying or something. because you see it and hear it on TV all the time, see friends about like.
So you got shot in your neck and like your lower back.
And so I got shot back there, and after he ran out of bullets, he immediately took off running. Cause like growing up, you know, everybody was like behind me and stuff. You know, I was the football star and stuff, and like family and friends, everybody was behind me. So he took off running, and as he took off running, I, you know, got up and I was like, initially I was finna chase after him because I was mad, and like I said, I wasn't hurting at the time. But me and my older brother was just talking about Sean Taylor, the football player that, you know, lost a lot of blood and died. And so we was just talking about why he didn't put pressure on his wound, you know, he bled out. So I put pressure on my neck. And two guys that I grew up with, they drove me to the fire station around the corner.
So you laying there and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm about to die. I'm about to die. How did that feel? Like,
man, it's
to be like,
it's like
right there, close to death. Or have that close to death experience.
It's scary, to be honest, you know, and here I am being a tough guy, but it was real scary, you know. I was thinking, like, if I die right now, I'm not going to be able to tell my mama I love her. I'm not going to be able, you know, the main thing with me was, believe it or not, as crazy as it might sound, I wasn't going to be able to tell people I love them. Right. I wasn't going to be able to tell my mama I love her, my grandma, my sisters, cousins. I wasn't going to be able to tell people I love them and stuff. And that was the biggest part, believe it or not, on the way to the med and everything. I wasn't going to be able to tell people I love them before I left.
How did this experience change your life?
It humbled me, because like I told you before, I was always the tough guy growing up. I was always the tough guy and the leader and stuff, and when I got shot, it humbled me. It slowed me down. It made me think about every time before I done something, I always thought it through. Like, if I do this, what would happen? It really humbled me. Seriously, it humbled me.
When you were in the hospital laying in the bed, did they immediately tell you that you're not going to die?
No, they didn't, and that was the crazy part. I don't know if they drugged me up.
So what was going through your mind then?
Am I going to die? When I got to the med, I kept asking everybody, am I going to die? Am I going to die? I don't want to die. I was even going on about, I play football and this and that. I'm a good kid, you know, I don't want to die. And
so you thought your life was over?
I thought it was confusing to me because I wasn't hurting. And I was like, man, I'm going to fall asleep or they're going to put me to sleep or something to have surgery and I'm not going to wake up. I was scared, you know. And one of the doctors said, you're not going to die, you're okay. And I was like, oh, Lord, do I believe her or not? Is she just saying it, you know, to calm me down? It was real scary. It was scary, man.
So looking back at that night, do you think that you would have done anything differently? Would you handle the situation?
I definitely, looking back, I played this through my head a million times. And as crazy as it might sound, because growing up, you always hear adults and role models always tell people, you know, just be the bigger person and walk away. Be the bigger person and walk away. And all through my life, all through elementary and everything, I heard that. I was like, whatever. Bigger person, walk away. I'm going to fight. You know, I'm tough. I got to show everybody how tough I am. I can fight. I would have walked away. I wouldn't have done nothing to him. I would have walked away. Because that ended my football career, believe it or not.
It's been 4 years, so what's different about Randon then versus now?
Man, it's like Randon still has the same heart, the same drive, the motivation to do things, but I'm way more mature. I can honestly stand here and say I'm a man now. Back then I was a kid, you know, just living life as, you know, a day at a time, just living life to the fullest. And now I'm a man, you know, I got a lot of responsibilities. You know, I got this neighborhood behind me. I coach the Bulldogs. I try to keep them young kids out of trouble and, you know, show them positive things. I take care of my mom and family. I mean, I'm just a man now, and I wasn't a man then. You know, I was just a kid.